So this is a follow-up to a video I made a couple of days ago on TikTok. And today we're going to talk about how you can back up your most important files to another drive or a network location for free. Go ahead and roll the intro. So in order to make this backup, the first thing that you're going to want to do is you want to open Notepad, because we're going to turn this into a script. So we're going to hit the start button. We're going to search for Notepad. We're going to open Notepad. We're just going to have a blank Notepad. And I already typed all this out, so I didn't want to do it all over again. I will take this. This is specifically the user profile. And what it's going to do here is it's going to back up your desktop, your contacts, your documents, your favorites, your music, your pictures, your videos, and your downloads. And you can exclude anything in here you don't use. So if you don't put anything in like your music folder, you can just cut that out. Or if you don't put anything in videos or downloads, or you don't want to back up downloads, you can just delete that out as well. This example is only for the user profile. Of course, you can edit it for any kind of documents or folders or file types or locations that you want. And in this current version, I'm going to show you how to do a full copy over to another location. Now, in this example, it's going to be a network location. It'll work just the same if you take out the file server part and put in D desktop. It'll move it over to your D drive in a folder called desktop if you created one. Now, once you have everything set up for what you want to back up, what you're going to do is you're going to do a file, save as. In my example, I'm going to save this directly on my C drive in a folder called batches and PowerShell scripts. I'm going to change this save as type to all files. And as you can see here, I have something called file copy.ps1. I'm not going to name it that. That's pretty much the same file that I made that I copied and pasted from. But we're going to go ahead and call this profile backup.ps1. And then we're going to save it. So now when we go to that folder and we double click on profile backup, you can see everything in here and how it's backing up. Okay, so now we have our script, we have it saved, and we have our backup location. So what's the next thing we do? How do we make it automated to do this as often as I want it to? First, you're going to click on the start bar. You're going to type in task scheduler. It pops up. You're going to open that. Here's where you can set automated task or things to happen automatically. So once you're in here, you're going to click on create a task or create task, I mean. Let's just name it profile backup because that's what we're backing up. I highly recommend running whether you're logged in or not, and then running with the highest privileges. Now, when you check run with the highest privileges, it is going to request your password for your account once you click OK and save this. So after we do that, go ahead and click on the triggers tab, click on new. You can set this however you want. I'm going to do a schedule, but there are a lot of other options here, such as you can schedule this to happen as soon as you log on, after the computer starts up, when the computer goes idle, or any of the other options here. It's really up to you. But for this one, we're going to do it on a schedule. We're going to do it daily. I'm going to set it for 3 a.m. It's going to happen every day. And now, if you want it to happen, let's say every hour, check the box, repeat task every 1 hour. I'm going to set it indefinitely. You can set it to however often, you know, every 1 day. And additionally, you can do this task as often as you want, every 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes, 1 hour, whatever you want. I do not recommend checking the stop task button because in my experience doing that, the task never works. So once you're done configuring all of this for whatever you want, go ahead and click OK. Now that you've done that, the next thing we're going to do is go to Actions. In Actions, you're going to click the New button. In Program/Script, you're going to type PowerShell. And then in Arguments, you're going to do -file space. Now, I'm putting a quotation mark here because there's going to be spaces in my file path. So it's C batches and PowerShell scripts. Profile backup .ps1 in the quotation. Right? Profile backup .ps1. Yep. So that's where mine is saved. We can verify this by going to the C drive, batches and PowerShell scripts, batches and PowerShell scripts. So that's why I have it in quotations, is because this part right here has these spaces. Without it, this will not work. Again, the action, you can do whatever you want with it. Start a program, display a message. We're going to start a program because we're starting this script. You're going to click OK after you have all of that configured. Next, you're going to go to Conditions. And here, I suggest checking to wake the computer to run this task. If you have your computer set to go to sleep after a certain amount of time, you might want it to wake up so it'll back stuff up, especially say if it's set to go to sleep in 15 minutes and you just got done spending, you know, an hour editing a file or a picture or creating a document or whatever, and you saved it, and it would say it was like right after the previous backup. Well, if your computer goes to sleep 15 minutes later, then you want it to wake up and then back up that new file that you created, and then it can go back to sleep in 15 minutes. And additionally, you can also set it to start if only a specific network connection is available. So say if this is a laptop and you're wanting to back this up to another computer at home, maybe you only want this to start whenever you're on Wi-Fi. Because I mean, if you're going somewhere, say you take your laptop to another location, you don't want this trying to back up if you're not on that Wi-Fi network and popping up errors or something like that. So in settings, I don't really see anything here that really needs to change, but if you want to change anything or check anything in here and have it do that, go ahead and do that. After you're done, click OK. Here's where it'll pop up and ask you for your password. Put your user profile password in and click OK. So let's look at where I have the backup set up. As you can see, there's nothing in here. Everything's just completely empty. So instead of waiting for it to start at 3 a.m. tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to Profile Backup, and you can click Run here if you want, or you can just right click and then tell it to run. And then what you can do is you can go back to the location where you have everything backing up and double click on it. And as you can see, it's starting to fill up with files here. You can even see folders coming in. It's starting to do this now. And now, after I've run it, every hour after I've run it, it will now back this folder up. So I'm going to let it back up my whole user profile. And then I'm going to show you some other things. Maybe it's some caveats of this command if you don't want it to do this. So stick around and let me show you some other stuff you can do with this. Okay, now my backup is completed, and we can see this in the task scheduler by clicking refresh and seeing that profile backup status is now ready and no longer running. Another thing is we can check our destination and see all of our files have now been populated. But there's something I want you to see. So with this script, let's take my music file that it backed up. Let's go to music, and let's say I want to delete all this right here. I have it in another location, so removing this isn't going to hurt anything. This is on my local PC. Right here. This is my destination where it backed up to. So let's say I want to delete all that. Well, here's one of the caveats to running Robocopy with all the switches that I put into it. When you right click here and run again, what you'll see is that it should check everything. It shouldn't be moving anything over. I'm just going to look. It's not, it's going through all the files, but what you'll see, there you go. See all those files disappeared? It should be done running now, or close to it. So if I refresh, yeah, see, it's done running. So if I would have deleted all those files from my local PC, then in an hour, it would have removed them from the backup. So that's what this backup is designed to do, is essentially, with all the switches and everything on this backup, it's supposed to make a one-to-one copy of whatever it is you're wanting to back up. So that means if you're working on something, say a document file, you created a document, say you were working on your resume, and you were like, I don't like it. Maybe I'll create a new one and just copy and paste some stuff out of it and delete the old one. So you create the new one, then you delete it. Well, an hour later, it's going to remove it from wherever you're backing up to. And for all of that, that's pretty much it. That's all I've got on this. Like I said, if you want to back this up to a different location, like say you're just backing it up to a different drive, maybe you only have like a 128 gig SSD and you want to back everything up to your 2 terabyte drive, or maybe you have a 500 gig SSD and you want to back everything up to your 2 terabyte drive or 1 terabyte drive or something like that. That's what this is for. So once again, I'll copy and paste in the description below the entire setup for you so that you can just copy and paste this and make your own PowerShell script, and then you can set it up in Task Scheduler. And there's how you can make full incremental one-to-one backups of whatever files or folders that are most important to you. And you can do it for free, built in with Windows 10. So just remember, if you're wanting to back this up and you want it to be a complete one-to-one, so if you delete something on your source and you want it deleted in your destination, then these commands are what you're looking for. If that's not what you're looking for, then this is not what you're looking for. So with that being said, I hope this helps you. At the end of the day, if you're going to use these commands to do backups to another drive or another computer or something like that, then this is a great command to set on an automated scheduled task to where, regardless, the best thing about this is that when it runs every hour, if no changes were made to the folder, it just scans both the locations and it goes, oh, no changes. Okay, boom, on to the next folder. But the other thing is that if you do make a lot of changes to things frequently and you want those updated, then this will save you space, especially if you're deleting things a lot and you don't want to keep them or things like that. Anyway, I hope you found this video informative and helpful. If you like this, go ahead and, leave a comment down below, like and subscribe. This has been Asking Her TV. Thanks for checking it out. Have a good one.